Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about some underrated bourbons. These are things that I personally find that people are walking by still, or maybe visited it once and never came back to it because they're off hunting other unicorns or other limited edition bottles. Most of these, if not all of these on my list, are accessible in most areas. You might have to do a little bit of hunting. Obviously, states will vary, but for the most part, these are bottles I recommend to people, especially if you're looking for a step up from, your more common bottles, but these are still things you're going to be able to go out to a lot of different stores and find. Let's get into it. Starting off the list might be a little bit of a controversial pick, just because I know some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I love it. Four Roses, specifically the single barrel picks. Nowadays, you can find the different lettering, so they're different mash bills. They're slowly getting some other ones out there to the market. These can be found for sub $50. Heck, here in Indiana, you can get the newest ones for about $42. 50% ABV. They are got a great profile to them. A little bit of the spicy rye going in there, nice light oakiness. And overall, while they are single barrels and they will drift a little bit, and especially with the different yeast strains and mash bills that they're using, you will find ones that you like and maybe ones you don't like as much. But for the price point, I love these and recommend them all the time to people just because they are a great solid pour that doesn't break the bank. And if you wanted to, you can throw it into an old fashioned, drink it that way, and you don't feel bad about using it because they are just everywhere. Next up is an easy one for me. I talk about this one as well, and I loved it prior to a lot of the enthusiasts starting to say, hey, you should go out there and get this bottle because it is fantastic. And there's some rumors that it's either discontinued or some are saying that it's not. I don't know either way. I can find it on the shelf here in Indiana. So you should be able to find this at a lot of places from what I can see, and I highly recommend it. And that's Cooper's Craft. Now, there is some of the existing bottles, I don't know if they make it anymore, but there's a lower proof option. Specifically, you want the 100 proof option. This is gorgeous. It's a lot of classic bourbon. Get that nice little bit of cherry notes going on in there as well. But the big difference they do with this offering is they actually chisel out parts of the stave to add a little bit more of the surface area to the bourbon itself. And in my opinion, it showcases through. It doesn't come across like a true double oaked or anything super oaky, but the extensive sweetness coming from the wood sugars and the profile they're able to bring across on this is great. And this bottle's like sub $35. I think I paid like $32 for it. Well worth the price of entry on here. And it's definitely one that if you see and you haven't tried yet, I recommend it. Next up is another bottle I love. This, not only do I love the bottlings, but I love the place they're coming from. This is an NPD, but they have such a huge footprint out there that you should be able to find these guys around, and they just spank great bourbon. That's the Backbone Bourbon Company. This one here is actually a single barrel pick, but the standard uncut, unfiltered bourbon, mid 40s. I think I paid $45, $47 for my standard version of it. These single barrel picks, they go all the way up into 8-9 years plus, usually for 80-ish bucks. But the standard version that you can find around on the shelves is coming from MGP. They're very transparent about that. And it is just damn good, high-proofed bourbon at the end of the day. You're going to get that oak, vanilla, caramel, that little bit of orange rind in there that MGP is known to have. Beautiful oakiness, and at the end of the day, these are crushable bottles that will not break the bank. And the great thing is, you get that nice high-proofed option, and these single barrel picks are just as good for that little bit of extra money. This one here, actually retail price was only $65, and it was almost 7 years old with a finish on there. And you can't beat those kind of prices, especially with the level of transparency Backbone is doing. These are a no-brainer shelfer bottle for me all the days. Next up is an Indiana distillery, one that I talk about quite often, but has a pretty good footprint nowadays with getting bottles on the shelves. And that is Hard Truth. This is their Sweet Mash Rye. These are all barrel-proof options. This one here is actually a single barrel pick, but they're all barrel-proof, which is great. They are high rye, usually 94% rye, 6 barley, if I remember right. And I'll tell you what, it does not drink anything of what you're thinking of with the rye. This will go toe to toe, and I've blinded it with Wild Turkey Rare Breed. These are phenomenal bottlings. They have such a great herbal oakiness to them, but such a beautiful soft spice that it's not going to be your typical rye when you think of Indiana. This is how you do it with the sweet mash style. The master distiller over there knows what he's doing. And nowadays you can actually find these at older age statements. This pick here is about 3.5 years old, which I know some number snobs out there are going to go, that age statement, ew, does not drink youthful at all. And they actually just released their 6-year version here in 2025, and it will knock your socks off. But for the barrel pick options on these typically run about 70, mid 60s, low 70s. But the standard offering, honestly, is just phenomenal. You can't go wrong with a good solid rye on your bar shelf, and I definitely recommend Hard Truths. And finally here we have one of my favorite bottles to sip on. I share this with people. I talk about it because this is a bottling that so many people snob their nose at until they try it, and then they go, okay, I see why people, especially in the whiskey community, talk about this when they do. That's Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Barrel Proof. These are amazing bottles. These have such a great profile to them. The oak, the vanillas, the caramels, that little bit of the maple sweetness in that. Slight bit of Jack Daniel's banana note showing up as well. But being that these are single barrel, they're all going to be a little bit different. But these spank. I love them. Even the standard select is a really good option. And those can be found like in mid 40s. Or here in Indiana, I can find these in the high 50s, usually 58 to low 60s in most locations. Bar none, an amazing bottle for most people. And if you've never tried it, you've always snobbed it off because it's Jack Daniel's, and we only think of Jack Daniel's to throw into Coke, you are sorely mistaken. These bottles are just easy to drink, beautiful proof points that all are going to vary, but they are just great bottle kills that you can just put on your back bar and always have a good pour when you're ready, especially at those proof points. Or again, the standard select is really darn good. The barrel proof rye is top tier, and their newest toasted barrel is just as great as all the whole lineup. Phenomenal bottles, but this one specifically, if they're carrying Jack Daniel's, they probably have one of these laying around somewhere. So there you go, folks. There's a few bottles that I find that are underrated to most people. There are some of my favorite picks and ones that I always look at when people say, hey, Garrett, what's a good bourbon you can recommend me? And those are the ones I lean on a lot of times. As always, let me know down in the comments section, what are some of your favorite underrated bottles, things that you love picking up that other people don't talk about, or ones that you just go, I know other people love it, and I do too. So, as always, may your last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I even like it might not.